Hi, my name is James Golson. I am here to share with you some thoughts on the business of playing your solo on the clarinet. As with any kind of musical performance, our solo performance is designed to communicate the ideas and emotions of a composer to the audience. In our efforts to communicate these ideas and emotions, we must improve and sharpen our musical skills. These include the skills of reading pitches and rhythms with speed and accuracy. Pictured before you are two texts, the Closet Celebrated Method and the Concert and Contest Collection for Clarinet. You should have them on your music stand while you view this tape. Needless to say, you should have your assembled clarinet in hand and out of the case. Our theme for this telelesson will be scan, isolate, and conduct your beats. Those of you wishing a personal critique should forward audio cassette tapes to me, care of the Memphis Arts Council. The fantasy piece is arranged for B-flat clarinet. These 68 exercises of mechanism are found in part 1 of the Closet Celebrated Method for Clarinet. Each bar or sketch should be played 8 or 10 times in order to perfect good habits of finger discipline. In order to prepare us to perform our solo, we should be able to conduct it from beginning to end. Let's practice the conductor's pattern with the metronome on 60 beats per minute. Let's pat our foot while we practice this pattern and add the numbers right to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be sure that you are well coordinated by stopping this tape and practicing the pattern in a mirror. The point here is to be able to give regular pulse assignments to each beat in every measure of your solo. When you see someone enjoying a musical performance, they may click their fingers, bop their head to the pulse of the music, or pat their foot. This pulse can be converted to a number of beats per minute. This conversion is made on an instrument called a metronome. A metronome is a mechanical device which divides a minute into equal and recognizable parts. In other words, it keeps a regular beat just as the patting foot is regular or the conductor's pattern is regular. One game that I used to love to play as a youngster was dodgeball. We would roar with laughter while keeping our eyes glued to this huge red ball to avoid being zapped by it. We can use this visual concentration to improve our music reading skills. These are flashcards of the notes you will play in the Closet 68 mechanism studies. We will use these studies as warm-up material. You should make up your own set of flashcards if these notes are unfamiliar. Mix up these cards and be able to play them front to back and back to front. For the first 3 cards, I will flash the note, then you play the note. Then I will give you a fingering check, then you sing the note, and lastly, I will play the note. Here is your first card. I am flashing the note. You now play the note. Right in this blank space, play that note. Now, here is your fingering check. Here is your fingering check. Now I will play the note. Here is your next note. I am flashing the note. You play this note that you see on the screen. Now I will give you a fingering check. Now you sing this note. Now I will play the note. Here is your last note of the first 3 cards. I will flash the note. There is your note. Now, you play this note. You play this note right now. Here is your fingering check. Here is your fingering check. Now, try to sing that note. Try to sing that note. Now I will play that note for you. Okay, how'd you do? Pretty well? Get ready for your next 4 cards. Get ready for your next 4 cards. For the next 4 cards, I will flash the fingering. Then you play the fingering. Then I will give you a note check. Then you sing the note. And lastly, I will play the note for you. Here is your first fingering. Here is your first fingering. I am flashing the fingering. Now you play that fingering. You, right at home, while you're seated with your clarinet, play this fingering. Here is your note check. This is the note that you are playing. Now, try to sing that note. And now I will play that note for you. next flashcard. I am flashing in front of you. You will see the fingering. You should try to play the fingering that you see before you. Play this fingering. If you need more time, stop the tape. Now, here is the note that you are playing. That note is a middle C. Note is a middle C. Try to sing that note. Try to sing that note. Let me play that note for you. Here's your next flashcard. Here is your next flashcard. I am flashing the fingering. There's your fingering. You play this fingering, and then I will give you a note check. Play that fingering. Here is the note that this fingering produces. That fingering produces this note. Can you sing that note? Make every attempt to sing this note. And here I am playing that note for you. Now, in this series, here is your last fingering. There is your fingering. Play that fingering. Do the best you can. Just take your time. If you need to stop the tape, here again, stop the tape if you need to see that fingering for a longer period of time. Here is the note that fingering produces. Here is the note that fingering produces. Can you sing that note? If you can't sing it now, then try to sing it after I play. But try to sing it before I play it for you. Now I will play this note. Okay? For the last 5 notes, I will flash the note. You play the note. I will give you a fingering check. Then you sing the note. And lastly, I will play the note. For the last 5 notes, I will flash the note. You play the note. I will give you a fingering check. Then you sing the note. And lastly, I will play the note. Here is your first note. You play the note now. Here is your fingering check. You sing the note. And lastly, here I am playing that note for you. Here is the note. You play the note. Here is your fingering check. Can you sing that note? Here's the way that note sounds. Here is your note. Can you play that note? Here is your fingering check. Can you sing that note? Let me play that note for you. And here is your last note. Here is your last note. How about that one? Can you play that one? Need a fingering check. Here's your fingering check. Can you sing it? If you can't sing it before I play it, then for sure sing this note after I play it for you. Now we will proceed to the 68 mechanism studies found on page 16 in the Closey celebrated method. We will proceed to the 68 mechanism studies found on page 16 in the Closey celebrated method. The first step we will take in our adventure is to carefully warm up and develop a well-disciplined finger technique. The reason for this is to be sure that we cover the holes efficiently. I suggest that you mark your downbeats in each bar of these exercises. First, we will play some of the exercises with the use of a reading window card. This will keep your eyes from moving backwards. We will also use the bouncing ball technique to improve our ability to isolate the downbeats. In the first line of these exercises, we will use a reading window card. For the second line, we will apply the concept of the bouncing ball. Thereafter, we will play only downbeats the first time and the exercise as written the second time. Watch for the bouncing ball in number 4. Number 5, concentrate, keep your eyes on the bouncing ball. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. Number 15. Number 16. Number 17. In number 17, make every effort to keep your left hand ring finger down. Number 17. Number 18. 19. Number 19. Number 20. Number 21. Number 22. Number 23. Now remember, get your friend or your parent to move the reading window card right along with the music in front of your eyes to train your eyes to move forward at a regular speed. One trick that may help you is to put everything together: your conductor's pattern, your foot padding, and your mouthpiece and your barrel. Say the syllable ta on each downbeat of your conductor's pattern. Say the syllable ta on each downbeat of your conductor's pattern. Here we go. Let's try it. Here's our conductor's pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. And. Now, once you perform that exercise, and do it several times so that you feel comfortable with it, read the comments of these veteran clarinetists on attacks. Read these comments on attacks. Then you'll be ready for your solo. Stanley Hasty, the attack is released by the tongue. I teach the syllable ta. It is very important that you come off the tip of the reed. If someone can't hear in his mind how something has to be, I don't think he can do it. One has to hear how a note starts to get it started.